And it's an absolutely brand new episode of The Rundown with Ramon. I'm glad you're here today. We have an exciting episode for you today. We're going to talk about a lot of good things. Let's see what our topics are going to be about today. How leaders are approaching time off in a remote world. That's going to be juicy. 5 attributes of highly successful and happy people. 5 common pitfalls to avoid on the way to your next business success. Are you tired of the same old, unveiling, unconventional content marketing triumphs? That's going to be good. Did you know the most successful entrepreneurs know how to say this one word, no? Here's the one exercise you're going to need to learn. The NFL has recently released its most advanced data. It's now on sale, and I had some ideas of maybe how you can do that too. As a performance-oriented psychologist, I can tell you the best mindset to achieve peak entrepreneurial success. Of course, recently, the way that we sell and buy homes has changed. Cutting fees, new rules are changing how we buy and sell homes. And this old school marketing strategy can better sway your audience, as we do in the Rundown with Ramon, pulling from the recent headlines that help your business grow. Thank you for that engagement. Thank you for that first thumbs up. Again, my name is Ramon Ray. This is the Rundown with Ramon. All we ask is for a bit of your time to give you the top things you need to know to live your best life or start or grow your business. And I'm so glad you're here today. If you've joined the Rundown with Ramon and maybe you're not feeling so great, I'm glad we can be a small part of your day and help you feel just a little bit better. If you joined the Rundown with Ramon and you're feeling pretty good, well, then I'm glad I can join in on that goodness. So glad you're here today. We have an amazing episode for you today. If you didn't know, my name is Ramon Ray, an entrepreneur, started 5 companies, sold 3 companies, authored 5 books, and I'm here to help you live your best life or start or grow your business. You can get to know me better at RamonRay.com, get to know us better at zoneofgenius.com. And with that, let's start a brand new edition of The Rundown with Ramon. Don't forget to share this out. Let other people know you're watching The Rundown with Ramon. We bring you the best tips and strategies and insights and things to make you think, all to help you live your best life or grow your business. With that, shall we get into the first nugget of the Rundown with Ramon? Ding, 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 ding. Today, we're talking about how leaders are approaching time off in a remote world. This is not new. Post-pandemic, of course, many of us have gone remote. The world of remote is increasing, but there's many ways leaders can or cannot work in a remote world. Dana Austin is here. Dana, thanks for being here on the Rundown with Ramon. Dana, so glad you're here. Spread the word. Thanks, Dana, for being here on the Rundown with Ramon. So how leaders are approaching time off in a remote world. They're doing a few things, writes Rhett Power, contributor at Forbes. Remote work has redrawn the boundaries between personal and professional life, and that's a challenge for the worker and the employee because you're home. So you don't feel that need sometimes to take time off. But one of the headlines here says, pioneering time off practices for digital well-being. Is it good to be on the computer all day long? I think about my world here, being in my office here. Here, I could be here for 10 hours a day, it seems. Am I spending time with my wife? Am I getting my spiritual nourishment? So do I need to have a digital detox from time to time? That's a question. I want to know what you think, Dana. Next up here is cultivating a culture of unplugged vacations. When I take vacations, when I go out, am I always on my computer? Do I have to be in there? Can I literally unplug? Now, sometimes it's a function of the business we're in. If our business is not built to be unplugged and we always have to be running it, well, that's one thing. But can you take at least a day, a half a day, 2 days, and not be on that phone all the time? Maybe I'll give you a bit of grace and you can check it every once in a while. But I wonder, can we take a vacation and really be unplugged? Next up here, embracing work-life integration for enhanced flexibility. Gloria St. Martin Lowy, president of HPWP Group, introduces a concept of work-life integration that offers greater flexibility than traditional models. This approach recognizes the diverse needs and schedules of individuals. A one-size-fits-all policy may not be effective. I think about the world I'm in right now. I'm an empty nester. I have older children, as those who have children will be. Most of us. Your children will go off, get married, or be on their own. So my question is, How do we handle that work-life balance? It's going to be different than someone who has small kids. Dana's chiming in here saying, yes, we need to detox from any and all things. Say it ain't so, Dana. Sometimes it's hard to do. And thank you. You're not the only one, Dana, who struggles with digital balance and being an entrepreneur. It's not easy, Dana. And I'm with you on that. But that's the second thing that employees and employers and employees have to think about. We're all different. Next up here says strengthening team bonds to support quality time off. Those who are working for the larger companies and you have teams, you can leverage your teams and you can all take turns having quality time off where you're not on the go over and over and over and over and over and over and over again nonstop, because that's not great for you. It's not great for the company. It's not great for your peers. So these are things we can consider again on the rundown with Ramon. It's important to take that time off and to reflect, to recharge. Working 24/7, working all day is no bueno. And as Dana said, it's a struggle. It's a struggle, but it's something we all have to do at some point. Again, I'm glad you're here. My name is Ramon Ray. This is the Rundown with Ramon, and I hope you're enjoying it as we help you live your best life or start or grow your business. Next up, ding, 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 ding. These are the 5 attributes of highly successful and happy people. Now, we all have different ways we're happy, different ways we're successful, but our friends here, looking from a page from Entrepreneur, written by Amy M. Chambers, give some insight of what we can do, some practices we can take to be happy and successful based on what other people are doing. 1, vision. Humans have a gift that no other living organism has, the power of imagination. Do you have the vision to be where you need to be to get where you want to go? Successful, happy people use this gift. They imagine a compelling and they believe in their to create and shape it. So number 1 is having vision if you want to be a success. Number 2, the aspect of passion. Are you passionate about what you're doing? Successful people have not to invest in yourself. What about courage? Fear is a powerful motivator indeed. Research shows that our brains all have subconscious component that work to protect us and keep us safe. Again, reading here from this article. But are you holding back and living life with the brakes on, it says, because we're afraid of change and trying new things? Trying new things and embracing and accepting change may be an important part of you getting to the next level of your success. What about the power of compassion? When we empathetically hold space for others, we free them from their own fears and worries. Compassion is important. It allows us to create a safe space for others to be themselves. Do you think you need to be more compassionate? Are you being compassionate enough? What about accountability? It's amazing how much traction you create in life when you keep your word. The most successful people I know always do things they said they do. They regularly keep their commitments, including the ones they make to themselves. Accountability. Me being on this show is part of being accountable. To do a daily show is not easy, but it's accountability to myself, accountability to my partners. As we stream this across multiple channels who are counting on me to provide them and their audiences with amazing content. So accountability is important. Again, if you just joined, my name is Ramon Ray. I'm so glad you're here today. We got a lot in store for you today. If you got a tip, got an insight, you want to be on the Rundown with Ramon, definitely check out our Genius Spotlight. I'd love to feature you and have you on the Rundown with Ramon. You can check that out at zoneofgenius.com/spotlight, zoneofgenius.com/spotlight. Ding, 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 ding. Moving on. 5 common pitfalls to avoid on the way to business success. 5 common pitfalls to avoid. 1, performance marketing. Companies get things right when they start with a great product and have effective product-led growth levers. Where missteps often happen is when they say, great, everything's working, let's grow faster, just for the sake of growth, just for the sake of doing it. That's when maybe the wheels fall off the train and things get messed up. So that's one common pitfall in the way to business success. You're already having a success, But now, can you handle the growth, and are you pushing yourself to grow too fast? Number two, experimentation. One of the biggest levers is building a robust growth experimentation program. With that in place, you can ruthlessly prioritize experiments. This can lead to a series of experiments running across the funnel within an app and on the website. So how do you do that? That's a pitfall to avoid. Experimentation. Now, we do need to experiment, of course, but you want to be careful. Don't run too many experiments all day long, and you're not prioritizing the experiments that you're running. Channel strategy. Create a growth flywheel, an essential tool that pinpoints what values and content best drive traffic and growth. Think of it as a self-sustaining loop where you identify what inputs generate the most outputs that can then be reinvested in the inputs. So channel strategy is an important part. The one thing great companies do is properly invest in all growth channels. And for a small business, think about what that growth channel looks like for you. Brand building is important. Large companies spend millions of dollars on brand agencies, but brand is only good to a point because it's merely a manifestation of your product. So brand building the right way, scaling is good. But as I learned from Seth Godin, are you scaling to the size that works for you and your brand? Are you scaling to the size that works for you? I'm a small business owner. This is it, with a team of great freelancers who help us do the work that we do. What's the size that you want to do for your business? What's the size that you want to do for the life you want to live and the way that you want to grow your business? And again, my name is Ramon Ray. This is The Rundown with Ramon. Thank you for that. Dana asking about that. Zoneofgenius.com. Zoneofgenius.com is our flagship site. You want to check out our spotlight, Dana? Check it out. /spotlight. Zoneofgenius.com/spotlight. Thank you so much, Dana, for asking. Again, everybody, this is The Rundown with Ramon. We only ask for a little bit of your time to give you the top things you need to know to build your best business or grow your best life. Welcome. Ding, 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 ding. What makes a marketing campaign successful? That's a great question. I'm glad you asked. There are many things you can do to have a great marketing campaign and some things you can do to not have a great marketing campaign. But one thing I know for sure is that if you're tired of being conventional, tired of doing things like normal, there's a few companies that have done things differently. Spotify's Wrap campaign, for many Spotify's users, the end of the year heralds the arrival of a cherished tradition, the Spotify Wrapped experience. This highly personalized journey through one's musical year not only delights users, but also serves as a masterclass in content marketing. And I believe what they're doing is transforming a simple feature into a cultural phenomenon and sharing with people what is most popular that they're listening to. Spotify's success underscores the power of leveraging useful insights to fuel compelling content that resonates deeply with audiences. Dove's Real Beauty campaign, flipping beauty as it's known on its head and saying beauty is on the inside and that everyone is beautiful to somebody, and their real beauty campaign, exposing the stark disparity between women's self-perception and reality through a series of emotionally charged videos. GoPro, you don't hear about GoPro much anymore. I'm sure it's still around. People's smartphones are probably taking over. But historically, they've just led with the power of so much content from a company that sells mini digital cameras. Ironically, Blendtec's viral spectacle. If you haven't seen Blendtec yet, blending up all kind of things, millions and millions of page views, blending all kind of things. Then you have MailChimp's Small Business Showcase, starting its own content machine and saying we don't have to wait for the media to pick up. I say this all the time, but we're going to do this ourselves. That is correct, Dana. We're going to do this ourselves and make our own content. You notice that GoPro sells cameras. They're producing content. Blendtec sells blenders. They're blending tons of things and producing content on it. Again, everybody, my name is Ramon Ray. This is The Rundown with Ramon, helping you live your best life or start or grow your business. It's all we ask is for a little bit of your time to help you get to the next level where you want to be. And much of it is in our minds. Much of it is mindset. If you're enjoying The Rundown with Ramon, if you're enjoying it, If it's helpful to you, could you let me know? I'd be so grateful to hear from you. DM me on LinkedIn. You can find me, Ramon Ray. DM me on Instagram, Ramon Ray Smart Hustle. Find me on Twitter. Find me across the platforms on Facebook. Comment right here. Take a screenshot, share it out. Let people know you're watching the Rundown with Ramon. Ding, 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 ding. Next up, learn to say no. If you want to be more successful, the most successful entrepreneurs, according to Barry Raber, learned to say no. Key takeaway says here, when I think about the most successful entrepreneurs I realize they say no to many opportunities. When it feels counterintuitive, the most crucial question to ask is, what won't we do? Gather your team and make a thorough won't-do list. Be thoughtful about it and commit to the result. Things you won't do. When you recognize the power of no, writes this article here, the overarching issue is that most people say yes too much. And you don't really get done the things that you want to do. So maybe you have a list of things that you won't do due to it being morally against what you want to do, or more times it's just out of what we want to do, out of what we like to do, it's out of the things that advance what we want to do in life, which will open the door for you to say yes to other things. And when you say no, you don't have to be mean about it. You can do things like, hey, thank you so much, Dana. This is not an opportunity for me right now. I appreciate it. Thank you. But maybe somebody else can help you do that. So your no doesn't have to be mean. Your no doesn't have to be nasty. Your no can be something that's good. It can be uplifting somebody still, but it doesn't have to be nasty and mean. No can say, hey, listen, thank you so much for thinking of me. This is not a fit for what I want to do or where I want to go. So you can say no and reject something, as it were, reject an opportunity, but still make others feel good. Again, everybody, thanks for being here. My name is Ramon Ray. This is the Rundown with Ramon, and I'm so glad you're here today. Did you know the NFL kept its most advanced data hidden for years? Now it's finally on sale. When I read this, it got me thinking, wow, NFL's $1 billion brand that has this data, and it's using it, it's giving it to users who pay up, behind the scenes, fanatical NFL fans. What about you as small business owners? What do you have that maybe you thought no one wanted? Maybe you thought you couldn't monetize. Maybe you thought you couldn't leverage it as part of the customer's experience. What do you have? NFL is doing it. Maybe you should be doing it too. NFL can do it. And they're $1 billion brand, and we're small businesses, but get with your team, get with your freelancer, get with somebody else and say, what data do we have that we can provide and do more with it? Ding, 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 ding. As a performance-oriented psychologist, I can tell you the best mindset to achieve peak entrepreneurial success. And it says you're choosing both sides of the coins. Should you work to improve your weakness or emphasize your strengths? And I think both can be important. As a professional motivational speaker, I work to be the best speaker I can be. And by God's grace, I'm a pretty good speaker, event host, and more. But I don't dwell on what I don't do well. I don't want to make fatal mistakes, fatal errors that Dave Ramsey talks about. But I hone in on being the best I can be and not doing anything dramatically bad that drags me down. But let me go forward and see what this author says. Ask whether it's better to adopt one mindset or another ignores the fact that circumstances change. So rather than ask which way of thinking is best, ask instead which approach would be preferred in a given situation, because context matters. This is important. Moving on here in the Rundown with Ramon. If you didn't know it by now, cutting fees, how homeowners have bought homes is changing, and it's upending the real estate market. Wall Street Journal writes that when listing a house for sale for, let's say, $500,000, the seller agrees to pay the seller's agent a percentage of sale price, often 6%. Makes sense. The buyer agrees to buy the house for $500,000. So the seller is selling it and agrees that when the house is sold, they will sell the seller agent at 6%. Now the buyer says they're going to buy it. When the sale closes, the seller's agent gives part of the commission, often 3%, half, to the buyer's agent. But there's now a new way that it's happening. Still, when the seller sells it, they give some percentage that's agreed upon to the person who helped them sell it, the agent that helped them sell it. Now you have the buyer, and the buyer's agent agrees on a price for the agent's service is to help them find a house to buy. The buyer agrees to buy the house. Now's where things change. The money to pay the buyer's agent can come from the seller's agent, from the seller, or from the buyer, depending on what was negotiated. Real estate is a huge billion-dollar, trillion-dollar industry, and it's all being changed. And this is not the focus for me so much on real estate, but it's the focus that things do change and we have to be ready to adopt. And if you're not ready to adopt, or adapt, I should say rather, that can be bad. Dana's saying here, it's right. Adaptation can be a strength. Work your strengths according to Clifton's book. Absolutely. I've taken the Clifton Strength Test, Dana. Thanks for being here. So listen, everybody, there's things we can do to do better in life. And if we're not willing to do them, not willing to get to the next level, that's going to be a tough road ahead. My name is Ramon Ray. One more tip here. Ding, 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 ding. This old school marketing strategy can better sway your audience with an old school marketing strategy. A few things to keep in mind. One, trust and credibility are the gold standard. Building trust and credibility in everything that you're doing. A spotlight on being authentically you. You don't have to worry about being for everybody because you're not for everybody. Amplified reach and exposure. Let's talk numbers. While it's true that a viral tweet can reach millions overnight, the audience of a well-placed TV segment or a front page article is not only vast, but varied. Traditional media channels brings your message to a wide demographic spread, leveraging legacy networks. Traditional media might work for you. Getting your brand featured on a platform with decades of authority can be important. Integrating with digital, the best of both worlds. The long game, building a brand legacy. Are you playing the long game as Simon Sinek talks about? Embracing tradition in the age of innovation. These are things that's important for entrepreneurs to consider. Old school marketing in many ways does work. Yes, the internet's good, TikTok is good, but don't forget possibly traditional media can be of benefit to you. Hey, Dan is here. What's up? Happy today's day to you too. Everybody, my encouragement to you today, if you're enjoying what you're listening to today, check us out at zoneofgenius.com. Be clear on what you really, really, really want in life. I encourage you to do that. I say that on every episode. Be clear what you really, really want. Because if you're not clear, how can others be clear? Ask yourself, do you even want to be in business? Life is not Shark Tank where there's some soundtrack or commercial. It's the real thing, and I want to encourage you, don't let what you see on TV sway you. Are you hungry enough to be where you want to be, to get where you want to be in business? Are you hungry enough for that? What is your pricing like? Is it premium or is it cheap? And ask yourself this, what do you do best? When you can triangulate what you do best, to what you can get paid to do, it's a beautiful, beautiful day, Deanna. I encourage you, check us out at the Genius Spotlight as well. Want to join me here? Check me out. Genius Spotlight, zoneofgenius.com/spotlight, zoneofgenius.com/spotlight. See how we can add value to your world. My name is Ramon Ray. This has been the Rundown with Ramon. I'm so glad you're here today, where I can help you live your best life and help you start or grow your business. And I'm glad you're enjoying every episode because we're here to do one thing, and that one thing is to serve you. And I appreciate you as well. And Deanna, thanks for being here. And yes, it's okay. People don't want to be. Everyone is different for sure. And on that note, go make a difference in the world. Make the world a better place. And again, glad you're here. Josh Johnson here as well. Audience is streaming in. And again, I'm doing this Rundown with Ramon for you. So with that, this has been the end of today's Rundown with Ramon. And I'll see you again on the next edition of the Rundown with Ramon. Be blessed.